our today's topic is fill in the trace table of the flowchart. We have studied flowchart symbols. Huh? We have studied this symbol. Uh, this symbol is used at the beginning and at the end of the flowchart. So we say that this is start and or stop. Then we have a symbol that is used to input and out to perform input and output. For both input output we use this symbol. Then we have rectangle. This rectangle is used for any type of processing or calculation. Then we have another symbol. This is for decision. This symbol is used for decision and for, you may say, this symbol is used for selection and repetition both. Right? So these are the four symbols which are used in flowchart. For example, a question is given to us. We are asked to input 5 numbers. Problem is input 5 numbers and output about each number positive or negative. Right? Two things are asked to output, positive or negative. ठीक है बेटा? So we need to draw flowchart for that. For that flowchart, what will we do? We will use this symbol at the beginning, and we say that this is start. Right? Then, as we are asked to input 5 numbers, so we need to count that how many number we have input, and so for that we use a counter. Counter is used to count the value. Na? So we will say that count equals to or counter equals to 0. We may use the word count or counter, both are allowed. Right? So firstly we input the number. After counting, so for input number we use this symbol. After input num, we have to decide that this number is negative or positive. What to print? Positive.
काउंटर को इनिशियलाइज करने का कोई मकसद था?
डिसीजन बॉक्स.
तो काउंटर को इनिशियलाइज करना लाजमी है?
If we are not initializing counter, then when we are asked to compare it, check it that is it equals to 5 or not, or we are asked to add a value. Suppose we will use a formula to increment counter. The formula will be counter equals to counter plus 1. So it means you are asked to add 1 in a counter. So if there is nothing is stored in counter, then our algorithm cannot perform this calculation. There should be some value in which we can add 1.
Okay.
Right? So it is compulsory. Now here we will write down.
लेकिन हम ये पाइथन और pseudo कोड में तो नहीं करते.
Sorry.
लेकिन हम ये पाइथन और pseudo कोड में तो नहीं करते.
No. If we are not doing in Python or pseudocode, it will be an error. It will produce an error.
ये
Right?
कब हुआ?
I will show you. अच्छा. For example, in Python. Right, this is our Python. I'm saying counter equals to counter plus 1. Now it has produced an error. Now I am writing counter equals to 0, and then I am executing it. Now there is no error.
Okay, sir.
So I am writing print counter, and yes, 0 plus 1 is 1, so it will be 1, right?
Okay, sir.
1 minute. Four variables are to be initialized. If you miss initialization of these variables, there will be an error, right? No, we can say five. For example, counter or count should be initialized with 0, total should be initialized with 0, highest should be initialized with the lowest possible value, lowest should be initialized with the highest possible value, and product should be initialized with 1. Otherwise, there will be an error. Right, beta? Is there any confusion now?
No, sir.
So we need to initialize counter by 1, and then now we have initialized counter with 0, and so we initialize counter with 0, then input number, and then we need to check that the number is negative or positive. To check that the number is negative or positive, we use is lesser than 0. If number is lesser than 0, it will be negative. If num is not lesser than 0, then it will be positive. Right? So we will check. So there are two options. The first option is that the number is lesser than 0, and other option is that it is not lesser than 0. If number is lesser than 0, then we will display that the number is negative, right? So if number is lesser than 0, then we will display a message print right. And if number is not lesser than 0, then we will check that the is number is greater than 0, because it may be possible that number is 0. 0 is neither negative nor positive. 0 is a neutral number. So we will check that is number is uh, greater than 0 or not. If number is greater than 0, then we will, if number is greater than 0, right beta? So what we have done, if num is lesser than 0, yes, then we have output print negative, no, then we will check that the number is uh, greater than 0. If it is yes, then it will output uh,
Positive.
right beta. After deciding it is it positive or negative, what will we do? As we have input the first number, we increment the counter by 1. If number is positive, if number is negative, or number is not positive or negative, after that we increment the counter by 1. So we will use this value, counter equals to counter plus 1. Right, after increment in counter, we will check that the is counter uh, equals to 5 or not. If counter is not equals to 5, then we will input another number. So we will use the same symbol over here. Right, we will check that is counter equals to 5. Right, we will check that is counter equals to 5. If counter is equals to 5, then if yes, then we will stop, and if it is not equals to 5, then we will go and input another number, and if it is equals to 5, then we will stop our program. Now this is our flowchart. Right, in this flowchart,
सर अगर नंबर 0 होगा तो एरर नहीं देगा?
no, it will not say anything, because we are
Okay.
not asked to say anything. It says input number and output positive or negative. In this question, we are not asked to do something if number is 0.
सर अगर 0 दे भी दें तो ट्रेस टेबल में कैसे लिखेंगे सिर्फ आउटपुट पर?
Okay, we will check it now. Firstly, basically, there are all the 3 control construct. Number 1 control construct is sequence. All the statements will be executed in order. Then there is another control construct, selection, to print negative or not, to print positive or not. These are selection. To print positive or not, to print negative or not. This is selection. And to input values again and again. This is known as loop. We are going again to input number. We input number, perform something, and then we input another number, and we execute these lines again and again. So this is known as loop. Now, suppose we have these values. We have values like we have minus 20, right? We have these numbers. Firstly, what will we do? We will input num, then there is counter, and there is output. Firstly, it says counter equals to 0, so we have written 0 in this line. This is the first data that is stored in the algorithm. So this is known as first value or initial value or initialization. This is known as initialization. Right? This first value is known as initialization. Then we will not input anything or output anything in the line of initialization. Then we are asked to perform this input num. So we will input the num is 20, so input 20. Is num lesser than 0? No. Is num greater than 0? Yes. Then it says to print, right? Then counter is incremented by 1. So counter is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. Then it says is counter equals to 5? No. So it will ask to input another number. So we will input the next number. This is 30. Sorry, this was minus 20. The number we have input is minus 20. So we will write down negative. Now we have input another number. This is 30. It says that is uh, is num lesser than 0? No. Is num greater than 0? Yes. So it will print positive. Then it says increment count by 1. So we will increment it by 1. So it will be 2. Then it is counter equals to 5? No. Then it will ask to input another number. Input now. So we will input the next number. The next number will be 60. Is, uh, input is num lesser than 0? No. Is num greater than 0? Yes. So print positive. So we will print positive. Then it says counter equals to counter plus 1. So it will be 3. Right? Then is counter equals to 5? No. Then we will go and input another number. So we will input another number, next number, that is 0. Now it says is number lesser than 0? No. Is number greater than 0? No. And it says counter equals to counter plus. It has not given any output. Sorry. So is it clear, Usman? We will not give any
Yes, sir.
output if number is 0. This was your question. Then we input the next. We will check that is counter equals to 5? No. We will input the next number. This is minus 10. Right? And it is lesser than 0? Yes. So it will print negative. And it will check what is to be checked. That is number is counter will be incremented by 1. Now it will check that the is counter equals to 5, yes, so it will end the program, means these two values will not be input. Yes beta, is it clear?
Yes sir.
Yes.
सर एक और करवा दें ट्रेस टेबल.
Yes.
Yes.
This is 4 mark question. So 1 mark for 1 column.
Yes.
Here is another. This is summer 15 paper 2-1 or 2-3 question number 3. In this you will see that there are 5 marks, right? A value that stops input is known as log value. Now you will see that in this question there are 4 columns but the marks are 5. So
जी
what will
सर.
be the marks distribution? Total will be of 2 marks and 1 mark for each, right?
Yes sir.
Are you getting my point?
Yes.